For the past 2 seasons, this man's grip on monster trucks' brass ring has been ironclad. You might even say he has his name on it. To his opponents, this cruel pawn is another grim reminder of the dominant shadow cast by the Bigfoot race team. Andy Brass, a man who owns 3 championship rings, launched his winning campaign last season on the rocket ramps at Lima, Ohio. Today, we look once again for a challenger to take away what is almost taken for granted. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the best in MTRA monster truck racing. Today, from the Allen County Fairgrounds in Lima, Ohio, it's the Monster Truck Thunder Drags. Hi, everybody, I'm Gary Lee, and welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power. This is round 2 of a 13-race Penda Point Series. Let's take a look now at the points after the first Thunder Drags. Andy Brass in a Ford leads Fred Shafer in a Dodge, Paul Shafer in a Chevrolet, then it's Colt Cobra, Kirk Dabney rounding out the top 5, and they both drive Ford-powered trucks. Well, I'm standing where every driver aspires to be in all of motorsports. This is Victory Lane. Now, so far, we've completed round 1, getting ready for round 2. But first, let's get Army Armstrong's impressions of round 1 competition.
Gary, after the first round, there's a couple of major stories. Over my right shoulder, Barefoot's being towed out of the ballpark. Why? Because the young lady in the Boogey van beat him in the first round of competition. We were told to watch out for this young lady, Pam. She's definitely going to be a player. Other stories of interest. Second race of the year, the quick qualifier, the Overkill team with the Ford. They're looking strong this year. Third part of the interesting stories. In the first round, only one Chevrolet made it through. Everything else was the Blue Oval bunch. The Ford teams are looking extremely strong. But there is a constant. That is Andy Brass and the Bigfoot team. Their philosophy is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they're all going to the next round. Back to you, Gary.
Here is a look now at that upset in round 1. Pam Vaters, the near lane, that good-looking Boogey van. Fred Shafer, the Dodge pickup in the far lane, and it was all Pam Vaters as she takes the upset victory over Fred Shafer. And this will really hurt Fred the points chase. He was second going in. Earlier, Army talked to Pam.
Pam, a lot of people wondered if you're going to be a serious contender for this thing. I hope they realize now you are definitely here to play the game.
Yeah, that's what we built the second truck for, to come out here and race this series. I'm not here to, play around. I am here to take a win.
And the young lady is certainly building her fan base. Another pleasant surprise this weekend, the qualifying run of Kirk Dabney, the Overkill truck. He's the fastest qualifier.
He was the quickest qualifier for the second event in a row that gives him bonus points. But you know, he missed the driver's meeting, and that cost him 100 points. That can come back to haunt him. That could be his Boogey van before the year's over.
More highlights now from round 1. Gary Porter, the Carolina Crusher, in the far lane. And Kirk Dabney, Overkill, your fast qualifier. The near lane it is. Yeah, it was Kirk Dabney taking the victory in round 1, so he advances a 5:28, and that's exactly what he qualified at. In the near lane, Colt Cobra. In the Snakebite truck, the far lane is Piorkowski.
And Cobra literally drilled him on the start line, Gary, in that first round. Piorkowski's still getting used to the new truck combination, and before the year's over, he'll be a player, but right now, that's the guy that's holding a hot hand in this sport. Speaking of hot hands, look at the pairing in the next round. The Hall brothers come out to go against none other than
Andy Brass, Bigfoot Cruiser. Once again, this is action from round 1. It was all Andy Brass. There was a problem with Mark Hall. He did not finish, and there's the 5:21. Andy's not qualifying that well, but he's very, very fast in competition. Here is Paul Shafer and Dan Patrick. Shafer the near lane, Patrick the far lane. It was all Shafer.
Shafer comes to the sport through the sport of dirt track racing, trying to make a name for himself in monster trucks, and he is doing it rapidly.
Dan Runte had a single in round 1. There was a problem with the kill switch on Gene Patterson's truck, so the Bigfoot Power Wheels vehicle had the bye run, a single, at a 5:55. So there are some highlights from round 1. We're coming back with round 2 after this. Welcome back to Lima, Ohio, where Ford Trucks present the 4-wheel Jamboree Spring Nationals featuring the monster truck Thunder Drags in round 2 of the Penda Point Series. Here we have Overkill against Bigfoot Power Wheels, the Boogey van against Snakebite, and Bigfoot Cruiser against the Monster Patrol. And there is a look at your fast qualifier. That is Overkill. Kirk Dabney comes out of Columbia City, Indiana. He pulls alongside Dan Runte in the Power Wheels Bigfoot. And earlier, Army had a chance to take a look at this vehicle.
Gary, while walking through the pit area, we found something I want to point out to the people. A lot of folks don't realize that monster truck chassis are adjustable, and they do adjust them in order to make the truck react differently. Proof in the hand. Looky here. When they went out to qualify first, the 4-link bar was in this hole right here. They didn't like the way the truck reacted, so they dropped the bar down 3 more inches. Now what that does is changes the complete geometry of the suspension. This is a 4-link suspension, so when you drop it this much, it changes the whole geometry of the suspension, allowing the driver to actually adjust the truck. So this proves, just like any other form of motorsport, circle track, they put wedge in, or they take wedge out, or they put stagger in, and they take stagger out. This proves that a monster truck chassis is adjustable, and they do use the adjustments. Back to you, Gary.
Yeah, this is high-tech motorsports at its best as round 2 competition now gets underway. Dabney, the near lane, Runte, the far lane. Oh, who was it?
Oh, it's not over yet. What a run. We wanted the folks at home just to see what it's all about and get a little bit of the excitement in this sport when those motors start to roar.
5:20, Kirk Dabney takes it 3/100ths of a second. He takes the victory.
Got to keep the wheels on the ground to make the horsepower stick. Both drivers leave good, but watch the chassis unloading the far side. That was that bar we told you about just a moment ago. The chassis change didn't work.
And there's the margin of victory for Kirk Dabney as he climbs out of the truck. Here's Army.
I'll tell you what, the new kids on the block are making a name for themselves today. We got the designer right here, Marty, and the driver. Fellas, congratulations. It looks like you hit on the right combination this year.
Well, Army, a lot of effort's been put into this truck, and I'm kind of speechless. It's our first race of the year. We had a lot of expectations, but you know how tough it is out here. When you go against any of these guys, you got to battle.
Well, he's had a good run so far, the fast qualifier in 2 outings. As we take a look at the Boogey van, there is Vaters, who was the upset winner in round 1 over Fred Shafer. She comes out of a real sprint car town, Hagerstown, Maryland. They've got some fine dirt track racing in that part of the country. And there is a look at Colt Cobra in the Snakebite pickup.
You know, Colt knows this young lady is for real. Watch for him to make a real quick move on the starting line. The starting line is where Vaters drilled Fred Shafer a moment ago. The Snake's not going to let that happen to him. He'll be in the far lane, ladies in the near lane. In this sport, is it ladies first? Not. They don't believe in that. First one to the other end is going to go to the next round.
And by just that much, it was Colt Cobra, 5:26. So Colt will advance, and there's a look at the Boogey van, and Vaters 5:38. From a Ford van to a Ford pickup. Earlier, we talked about Andy Brass not making many changes in the season. There have been some cosmetic changes to this Ford pickup. And earlier, Army talked to Andy about the new color scheme of the Bigfoot Cruiser.
Bigfoot Cruiser, a new name added to the Bigfoot with a new color scheme. Andy Brass, tell us about the cruiser side of this.
Well, the Bigfoot Cruiser package is a package that we've been working with on Ford. We're trying to put together a F-150 and a Ranger pickup. It's going to look like the truck here. It's another cruiser package that we ran years ago, and this is just like an off-step of it. You know, we come back out with the truck, we changed the body style on it a little bit, added some stripes to it, and now you're able to buy a pickup with basically the same stuff. And also what it shows here is the transition from the old blue trucks with the yellow and the orange stripe into the new style, where we start out with the old stuff and kind of fade through some new style striping, also and add a little bit of the Wildfoot colors into it, and you know, we come out with a new paint scheme. You know, we're into the 90s now, so we're changing the paint scheme a little bit on the trucks.
From the most recognizable name in monster truck racing to a relative newcomer.
Well, the newbie you're talking about goes by the name of the Monster Patrol, and he may be new to this sport, but he's not new to motorsport. He's made a name for himself in dirt track stock car racing. It's Paul Shafer out of Portage, Indiana, national champion in the mud racing sport, and he has teamed up with Van Zandt's engines to make the horsepower, and he's not afraid of any of these guys. He may be relatively new in time in the seat, but as far as horsepower, he'll go head-to-head with anybody.
Good tight run, but Andy Brass takes it by what? About 2 feet, maybe 3 feet at the most, a 5:11. A good run, a good time for Andy Brass. And looking for the time now of Paul Shafer, a 5:16, ever so close. But Brass takes the victory.
I can't believe you lose in this heat with a 5:16. That's an awesome run. Both trucks leave together, settle down over the first jump, and from now on out, it's just muscle.
Well, the fast loser can come back. We'll see what happens. Here's Andy with Army.
Andy, one thing about this series, man, it's tough. I mean, it's going to be, if you can be a champion on this series, you are the champion.
Yeah, this year's really going to be a tough series for us. We knew it coming into the series here that everybody was going to be running close this year. The times are really coming down. We're running within 1/100th or 2/100ths of each other. And out here on this kind of track where the track changes a lot, that can be a big difference, you know. But we think we're pretty confident here with the Ford. You know, it's been doing us a good job. The John Cosby Hemi's been making some power. The Firestones are hooking up. You know, the Trailmaster shocks. We got the suspension dialed in. Like I say, the track's biting good today, so we're thinking we're going to do pretty good today.
And look at that. He got every sponsor mentioned in that interview. Congratulations, Andy. We'll see you the next round. We'll see you when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Lima, Ohio, as the fans enjoying the sunshine here at the Allen County Fairgrounds. In between rounds, while the monsters cool down, it's time for a Tale of the Tire Slappers, Part 1, otherwise known as the Tough Truck Competition. These are the amateurs in their streetable...
Hey, Gary, this is where your neighbor comes over and says, can I borrow your pickup truck this weekend? Yeah.
No, not my pickup truck. Well, this is Tim Burscott and his pickup truck. It's a 91 Ford Ranger. He's been real aggressive in the straightaway, but taking a real easy, just a little kiss right there, the tire.
This guy drives a truck like you ought to drive a truck.
Yeah, here's how you drive one. Mark Plasky and his Ford.
Mark, the manly man, in his truck. Now, you watch old Mark come over this jump. First of all, he's got to back up. Yeah. Then he's going to go over the jump. Now, the big finale, folks, is when you hit the tire. Watch old Mark.
Listen to it.
That's the way you drive a truck.
Oh, the fans love it here in Lima, Ohio. All right, now we take a look at Troy Tate in his Bronco. Man, look at the air in that thing.
I think deep down inside, everybody that's ever driven an automobile would like to do that. Yeah.
Oh, my. Well, that's a fun part of the program as we now get back to the monster truck competition. We are ready for the semifinal round here at the Allen County Fairgrounds. It'll be Overkill against the Monster Patrol and Snakebite against Bigfoot Cruiser.
Boy, you get down to this point in the competition, Gary, it's a legal street fight, if you will.
Fast qualifier Overkill-Kirk Dabney. He has been so impressive early this season. Now, Kirk is 5th in the point standings, but he has been very fast in qualifying, and he moves alongside the Monster Patrol. There is Paul Shafer. And Paul is 3rd right now in the point standings. Earlier before this run, he talked with Army Armstrong.
Gary, we're standing by with the Great Hope for Chevrolet right now. Paul, you know, you guys are right there with each other, but you're the only Chevrolet still remaining in this thing. Can you handle these Fords?
Well, I got my Van-Pam motor running real good in this Chevrolet. It's making a lot of horsepower, and we're just a little bit off, but I think we can run with the Fords.
Let me ask you a question. On the starting line, how important is the starting line today?
The starting line is very important. You have to cut a good light, and being this is my 2nd year driving a monster truck, and I'm a little slow on the light.
Another guy who has upgraded his horsepower is Kirk Dabney in Overkill.
He teamed up with Marty Garza in a computer-designed vehicle that Garza came up with. And unique here is the fact the Chevrolet you're looking at, the engine is in the front, stock location, just where they came out in Detroit. The engine in the Ford sits to the rear, but look at the Chevrolet. He bumps him big time on the start. The Ford comes back. Who had it?
Ever so close, ever so close. I think it's Paul Shafer, Army. We'll get the time here momentarily. Almost a photo finish. We'll go back and take a look at this again. It's almost too close to call. Watch now at the finish line. Paul Shafer, the far lane. Dabney, the near lane, right there. Oh, it is 5:19 for Kirk Dabney, and for Paul Shafer, look at 5:17. So Paul Shafer takes the victory. Here's Army.
What do they say?
Monster Patrol picks up the win by just about the lug of a tire.
Boy, the lug of it. Congratulations to you, Paul. I tell you what, these guys with Overkill are going to be tough this year, but let's look at what you're doing. One Chevrolet made it into the 2nd round. You're going into the final representing the Chevrolet camp. That's got to make you awfully happy.
Yeah, that makes me real happy because my Van-Pam motor's putting out some horsepower, and the Spitfire plugs is doing its job, and Red Baron truck wash, and we're right there. I'm glad for the Chevrolets.
We'll let you get ready for the final. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Well, we can tell you it will be Chevrolet against Ford in the finals because right here we've got a pair of Fords. The Bigfoot Cruiser with Andy Brass. He'll be in the near lane, the far lane, Colt Cobra, and Snakebite, another Ford.
Again, the engine location is a main difference in the vehicles. They may look the same. However, the Fords have realized you got to move the engine mid chassis or in the middle of the vehicle to make the truck really balance out. That seems to be the combination working for them. Both of these trucks have that type of a chassis setup, Gary. Both of them run 460 cubic inch engines, supercharged by the blower drive service out of California, so the horsepower is about the same. Basically, it's going to be a driver's race.
And they battle right now for the right to meet Paul Shafer for the championship here in Lima, Ohio. There's the far lane. That is Snakebite and Colt Cobra back in the cockpit after a year off for some research and development work. And he goes up against the biggest name in monster truck racing, Andy Brass.
Brass and the Mad Blue takes the win.
Andy Brass by over a fender at 5:04. Brass keeps getting faster throughout the afternoon. There's the 5:20 for Colt Cobra. A 5:04. That is incredible for Andy Brass.
Yeah.
As we look back across the track, the other drivers have been in the teens, but he sets it down to a 5:04. He takes the victory. Here's Army.
Once again, Andy climbing out of the vehicle. Tough run.
Yes, it was. You know, we were watching Snake. His time's been good. We've been looking at Monster Patrol and Overkill. Both the guys been running some good times there, you know. So like I say, we're just going to have to bear down and make a good, fast run. We had to get fast times. We had lane choice. We feel that the right lane's a little better lane today. It's a big thing right now this year is who can get the traction between the cars, and I think that's where we're starting to pick it up. You know, the suspension's holding us down on the first set. We're able to get the traction between the cars and turn in some fast times.
And talk about fast times. That 5:04 turns out to be the fastest run ever in the Jamboree Thunder Drag Series. The finals coming up. Well, we take a look at the Monster Patrol, and as Paul Shafer pulls up to the starting line for the finals, we'll take a look at part 2 in the Tale of the Tire Slappers. And here's our old buddy, Stephen Bishop.
Screaming Steven. Take it home, buddy. Right turn, Clyde.
He has been a crowd favorite here this weekend. Now watch this over the last whoop-de-doo and into the tire. How do you say grill work? Ow. There goes the right headlight.
That was a good one.
You can hear the crew yelling, the fans applauding.
Jim Hutchison is flying Bronco, just like John Moore used to run on the circus with.
Yeah,
right?
no problem.
Man, they've
been inspired by the monster truck drivers.
Well, they got air of one kind. These guys are going to get air of a completely different nature. We're serious now, Gary.
Back to the starting line, Andy Brass and Paul Shafer. Andy Brass had lane selection. He took the near lane, which is his right lane. The far lane is Paul Shafer.
Andy Brass will put the Ford, representing the blue oval bunch, that's the logo on the front of the truck, in the right lane. The big story today could be who's going to represent the bow tie brigade, if you will. The Chevrolet logo is a bow tie. In the past, we've had people such as Jerry Porter. We've had USA #1, but not for a couple of years has the Chevrolet camp had anybody that could step up and flex the muscle that it's taken to win the Monster Truck Championship. This kid could be the bearer of that.
As we look on, the crew looks on. We are ready for the finals. Let's watch and listen. Here they are.
Well, you can feel the drama, Gary. Ford Chevy.
And Andy Brass by a fender. It was so close, though, from the angle the crew was watching, from our television angle. We could see there's the 526 for Paul Shafer, but we could see that Andy Brass did indeed take the victory, his second victory of the Young Monster Truck Racing Series.
Boy, nothing for the Chevrolet camp to be ashamed of. They've got a new guy. His name's Shafer, and he will be a player before the year's over. Look how close this was.
Andy Brass pads his points lead in the Penda Point Series after 2 events. As we take a look at the points, there's Andy Brass, some 650 points up on Paul Shafer. Then it's Colt Cobra, Fred Shafer, and Kirk Dabney. Here's your winner.
Well, Gary, we've been here before, but it seems to get harder and harder to stay in this winter's end of this thing. Great year ahead of us, isn't there?
Yes, it is. Like I say, the competition's real stiff this year. We knew we was going to have to run hard. We knew we kind of pulled a bad shot off the line. We got a good hole shot, but it pulled us to the left there a little bit, kind of messed us up. We had to stay in it because we knew Paul was going to make a good run, so we had to do it. But the Ford come through for us, and we did make a good run, good fast time. That's what I'm happy with.
So Andy Brass leaves Lima, Ohio with a solid 650-point lead, doing so in impressive fashion with that 5:04 clocking the semifinals, the fastest ever in MTRA competition. That'll wrap it up for Army Armstrong. I'm Gary Lee. We'll see you next week on Trucks and Tractor Power. Now here's news and an exciting video release from Diamond P Sports.